All right, everybody, this is 3.3, solving inequalities with multiplication and division. The do now asks you to circle each inequality. Remember, inequalities were one of four symbols: greater than or equal to, less than, or less than or equal to. So it says circle each equality. Well, we're just looking for the inequality symbols. 5 plus x is less than 6. M minus 3 is greater than 5. 7 minus y is greater than or equal to 2. And the rest do not have inequalities. Draw a line from each inequality in column A to an equivalent inequality in column B. Well, these are just taking the inequality and flipping it over. So x plus 7 is less than 11 is the same as 11 is greater than x plus 7. And we'll change up the colors here. X plus 7 is greater than or equal to 11 means 11 is less than or equal to x plus 7. 7 plus x is less than or equal to 11 means 11 is greater than or equal to x plus 7, which means the last one connects at the bottom. 7 plus x is greater than 11. It's the same thing or equivalent to 11 is less than x plus 7. Vocabulary terms. To reverse. To reverse means to turn in the opposite direction. So feel free to pause, jot down your definition, and resume when you're ready to continue. The Use Your Vocabulary section asks you to reverse each inequality symbol shown below. So less than or equal to, reversed, would be greater than or equal to. Greater than to less than. Less than to greater than or equal to, reverses to less than or equal to. If the inequality symbol in x is less than 2 is reversed, tell us how the solution changes. Well, currently it says x is less than 2, which means numbers like 1, 0, -1, -2, and so on. But if we reverse it and we turn this into x is now greater than 2, then the solution changes to numbers like 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Multiplying or dividing by positive real numbers. So here's rule number 1. This is the new skill for today. We've learned how to add and subtract solving one-step inequalities. Now we're going to learn to multiply and divide. Rule number 1. When you multiply or divide each side of an inequality by a positive, do not reverse the direction of the inequality symbol. Do not reverse. 6 is less than 2x. Well, in order to solve that, I see multiplication here. We're going to undo that with division. So divide by 2, divide by 2. Now, that 2 that I'm dividing by is positive. So I'm not reversing the symbol at all. 6 divided by 2 is 3, which is less than x because my 2's cancel. So 3 is less than x. With your next one, you have x over 5. Well, x is being divided by 5, so I need to multiply by 5 on both sides. 5's cancel. X is greater than or equal to, and 25 times 5 is 125. Then you have 2 times x. In order to undo that, we're going to divide. So x is greater than 10 divided by 2 is 5. And again, we have b over 2 is less than or equal to 12. I'm going to times by 2 on both sides. 2's cancel. b is less than or equal to 12 times 2 is 24. Finding the solution of an inequality using positives. What are the solutions of c over 8 is greater than 1/4? Graph the solution. It says circle the first step in solving. Well, if you look down in the bottom left corner here, c is being divided by 8. So in order to isolate c, you need to multiply by 8 on both sides. 8's cancel. So we're going to go ahead and circle multiply each side by 8. What must you do to the inequality symbol when solving? Well, the 8 is a positive 8, so we do not reverse. Do not reverse the symbol. And our result is c is greater than, and 1/4 times 8 is really 8 divided by 4, which is 2. c is greater than 2. So now they just want us to plug in numbers on the number line. It seems like each tick mark is going by 2, so -2, -4, -6, -8, and 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. Now this is going back to plotting, inequalities on the number line. If c is greater than 2, I'm putting an open circle at 2, and all the numbers greater than are to the right. Multiplying or dividing by negative numbers. Rule number 2. This is the most important rule when it comes to inequalities. When you multiply or divide each side of an inequality by a negative number, reverse the direction of the inequality symbol. This is very, very important. Multiplying and dividing by a negative number. We must reverse the direction of the inequality symbol. If 6 is less than -2x, in order to get x alone, I need to divide by -2. But we're dividing by a negative number. Alarms, bells, and whistles should be going off in your brain. We want to flip that inequality symbol of less than over, so it becomes greater than. -3 is now greater than x. Okay, you need to do that every time you multiply or divide by a negative. For example, x divided by -5, I'm going to have to multiply by -5. But again, we're multiplying by a negative number. So I'm going to take the inequality symbol and flip it over. Greater than or equal to becomes less than or equal to. Our -5's cancel. X is now less than or equal to 25 times -5 is -125. The third example says -5x is greater than 10. Well, we're going to divide by -5. And again, we're dividing by a negative, so go ahead and flip that symbol over. X is less than -2. And in the last example, b over -2, we are going to multiply by -2 on both sides. Multiplying by that negative number means flip the inequality over. So b is now greater than or equal to 12 times -2 is -24. Finding solutions to an inequality using negatives. What are the solutions of -n over 3 is less than -1? Graph and check. So what is the first step in solving? Well, if you look in the bottom left again, the first step would be to eliminate that division by -3. So I'm going to multiply by -3 on both sides. Multiply each side by -3. What must we do to the inequality symbol? Well, that number we're multiplying by is negative, so we are going to reverse the symbol. N is now greater than, and a -1 times a -3 makes a +3. So again, we're going to plug in our -4, our -8, our +8, and remember these are going up by 2's, so you can plug in the rest if you want. And I need to put a circle where +3 would be. That would be in between 2 and 4, and if n is greater than that, our arrow goes to the right. Real-world applications. A student club plans to buy food for a soup kitchen. A case of vegetables costs $10.68. The club can spend at most $50 for the project. What are the possible number of cases the club can buy? The cost of a case of vegetables. Well, we already know the cost is $10.68, so go ahead and plug that in. The number of cases, well, we're not sure, so we're going to let C equal the number of cases. So go ahead and plug in the variable C. At most means less than or equal to, and the amount of money that we have for this project is $50. So now they want us to solve the inequality. So let's write it out. 1068C is less than or equal to 50. Now we need to divide both sides by 1068. 1068. Now that 1068 is positive. So we're going to get C is now, or remaining, less than or equal to, and the only thing we truly need to figure out is what is 50 divided by 1068. And when you plug that into your calculator, we get 4.68 cases. Now, we can't reach 5 cases because we can't afford it. So the number of possible cases of vegetables the club can buy is only 4. Because we can't buy 0.68 of a case. So we just round down to 4. Exit slip. Describe the student's first step. What is the error in the student's solution, and what is the correct solution? Well, I'm going to write the original on the side. Now, the first step the student made was to multiply by -5. And that would seem to be correct. -n over 5, we're going to multiply by -5 on both sides. My -5s and the negative up top will cancel. But we multiplied by a negative number. Keep that in mind. The student's first step was to multiply by -5. What was the error the student made? Well, after we cancel, we're left with n, but we multiply by a negative, so you need to reverse the inequality symbol to less than, and 2 times -5 is -10. However, when we look at the student's work, they never reverse the symbol. So the student did not reverse the symbol. So the correct solution would be n is less than -10. Okay, thanks for watching this video. More videos to come. If you have any questions, please call the Google Voice number or shoot me